Flip My Florida Yard is brought to you by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Protecting Florida's environment starts with you. What you do in your yard can have an impact on the health of our environment and water resources.
Hello, my name is Chad Crawford and welcome to Flip My Florida Yard, the show that helps homeowners transform their yards into beautiful Florida-friendly landscapes. We address a flooding issue for a family in Tallahassee.
We're ready to get our hands dirty.
And we build a retaining wall.
You can't hit this block hard enough.
All right.
We'll show you how to convert a rain barrel into an irrigation system.
We got water.
It works.
We'll drill down on plants that are Florida-friendly for North Florida.
You'll get these fantastic, gorgeous blooms in the springtime.
Can't wait to see it.
And then it's off to Coral Springs, where we help a family undo a landscape mistake.
Who thought rocks in a plant bed were a good idea?
We'll show you how to save water irrigating your flower beds.
Any homeowner could do this. It's very simple.
And then it's a DIY wildlife pole.
Whatever will bring wildlife into our yard, I'm in.
All this and more on Flip My Florida Yard.
We are the Fleming family.
So we moved here about 18 months ago and we really liked the house, but we realized quickly that we have a flooding problem.
Anytime a big storm comes through, lots of rain gets dumped on the property. We didn't want to just send off that water into the street. We wanted to use that water for our landscape. We just didn't really know how to fix it. The water comes right off, splashes down, then we have to deal with it here on the ground. The erosion has been a big problem. I've built berms, I try to grade the land away from the house, but it's still a problem.
So we love the idea of hanging out in our front yard, but this problem, it's limited the amount of time we've been able to spend out there. Our son Liam loves running around outside, so it's really important to us to have a space that he can enjoy.
Any improvements we can do to make this space more Florida-friendly, more efficient is going to be great.
Good morning, Bridget. Good morning, William.
Good morning.
Ready for an exciting day?
Oh, yeah.
Exciting.
We've got a lot going on.
Leading today's flip is landscape architect Brett Hammond. William and Bridget will be helping Brett and his crew make this front yard flip happen.
We've got a lot of plants going in today. Isn't that right, Mark? We sure do.
Also joining them is Leon County Extension Agent Mark Tansig.
The main thing we're trying to do is trying to minimize your stormwater erosion problem.
When it comes to doing landscape design, water is an incredible force that needs to be dealt with.
I'm so thankful having all these experts out here to learn from. We understand there's a lot of work to do. We're ready to get our hands dirty.
Ready to do this.
Let's
All right.
go.
The first thing I saw when I arrived at the Fleming residence was an erosion problem.
Brett's design has three elements to help reduce stormwater runoff. First, gutters will be installed to divert rainwater to a rain barrel. Second, a retaining wall will be installed to keep water coming off the house from overflowing onto the driveway. And third, 2 swales will be dug in the flower beds to help control and retain runoff, and we'll top it all off with filling the flower beds with Florida-friendly plants.
All three of those design elements working together will retain that water on site and help it percolate into the physical soil.
So what's great about this block is the way they are made and manufactured, anyone can build these walls. Now we want to look at our height. So we want this height to be consistent with the previous block. So let's put our level.
Yeah, it looks
So we're a little high, right?
a little high, yep.
When installing these wall blocks, you have to dig down what they call a footer because you need a minimum of 6 inches of gravel. And then you're going to put your block in. That's considered your base course. And that's where majority of your work is when you're building with these retaining wall blocks. Let's go ahead and hit all 4 corners of this and get it down. You can't hit this block hard enough, so keep going. So William's doing a great job. He's taking each block, he's hitting it with the rubber mallet, keeping it level. Awesome.
Looking good.
Dead perfect.
All right.
With the base layer installed, the remaining pavers require a structure bond glue to bind the pavers together.
So we had a big problem with erosion. All this dirt would be going across the driveway every time it rains.
The water that was coming downhill will no longer come through here and create more issues for you.
All right, great. Thanks, Jerry. It was really helpful having Jerry talk us through how I feel confident that this is going to fix our problem.
Let's grab a shovel, get to work. We're going to start backfilling. This wall is going to be a huge help for this family.
A lot of people think of Florida as flat and sandy, but in North Florida we do have some rolling contours and we have more clays in our soil. So that leads to less water being able to get through the soil and more water actually running over the top.
We're really excited to learn about all the effects of stormwater runoff and how we can prevent further damage to our waterways.
A gutter system is being installed to prevent erosion and redirect the water into a rain barrel.
This looks really good. Bridget's got our rain barrel. So let's back up and look at why we're doing this, right? So the water's gonna come off the roof, the gutter's gonna catch it, downspout's gonna send it to the rain barrel over there. There's a lot of big storms in Florida, right? So oftentimes that rain barrel is gonna overflow and fill up, gonna come down into this first little bioswale, and we have two here. So you can see when this one fills up, it will overflow off the backside of that bioswale, enter the next bioswale. And again, the idea is most of that water getting into the ground rather than running off. Water bodies are polluted with all sorts of issues. Every little bit that leaves our property kind of contributes to this problem. So if homeowners can apply these little principles and these little kind of changes in their own landscape, we can reduce what's ending up down at the bottom of the hill in these lakes and streams. We have more work to do. There's plants to get down, there's mulch to be laid. So let's go.
Let's do it.
All right.
There you go, there you go. Good, William. We can adjust and tighten these up as we need to.
So are these all gonna fill in?
Yes, so right, these are gonna grow out and they'll fill in slowly over time. A lot of homeowners make the mistake of trying to plant it really densely.
Put them about 30 inches to 36 inches apart.
What you get is you get a lot of overgrowth. You space them appropriately so that over time they fill in as they grow. What do we think of that?
I think that's good.
I really liked having you space out those plants to something that you were happy with.
It was really cool seeing Brett's vision come to life and us being able to have some control over that too, because we're gonna be the ones seeing it every day.
Oh, it looked good.
Has to go a little deeper.
You want a shovel instead? You like that thing?
I think I want a shovel. This dirt's pretty malleable. Hey, backfill. We're a DIY kind of family, and so this is actually really fun. These plants are gonna fill in nicely.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
Keep working.
good job.
So I have a fun project for William and Bridget. We're using that rain barrel, which is another method to reduce stormwater runoff, and they are attaching this poly drip tubing to it. So they're gonna meander it through the plants, and they're gonna use that stored rain barrel water and just be another really good use of stored water and slowing that runoff down. Wow, y'all, you've done a lot of work. You gonna start an irrigation company now?
Yeah, maybe.
So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna pop some holes in our drip tube so that our plants can get water. So all we need to do, we're gonna take this handy little punch and we're gonna go up to each plant is we're gonna pop some holes in this drip tube and see what happens.
All right.
Who wants to do the honors?
I'll do it.
All right, there you go, Bridget, get to it.
All right, where exactly should I put the hole?
We're gonna try to get that water to come out right by the root zone of the plant. So just go next to each one by the root and pop a little hole in there.
Sounds good.
Oh, you got all your holes punched?
Yeah.
Let's turn it on, let's make it work.
All right.
We should see water start to come out of these little holes.
Yeah, we're ready.
And here it goes, fire in the hole.
We got water.
It works.
Right, great, it's working.
It's really cool to see the water go through the rain barrel and through the irrigation system, watering the plants. It's really just good to know that it's not going on our driveway and it's going back into the earth where it's supposed to be.
Because of the soil conditions and shade caused by the surrounding oak trees, Brett chose plant material that would thrive in these conditions.
I'm here to introduce you to some of the plants that we put in your landscape today.
Great.
The first one we're going to talk about is that Shishigashira camellia.
This one right here, it's got a beautiful bloom.
Beautiful flower. That's a classic North Florida landscape plant. Blooms during the winter time, so when not a lot of things are blooming. Thrives in the shade, so you get a lot of color. Moving on to this one. There's a couple names for this leopard plant, Farfugium, but one of the favorite is tractor seat plant. This one is a great North Florida landscape plant. It's kind of big, bold leaves, lots of texture. Another low maintenance plant. Then in the middle here, kind of in that bowl of the bioswale, where it's going to stay kind of the most moist. We have some Louisiana iris. You'll get these fantastic, gorgeous blooms in the springtime.
Can't wait to see it.
Yep, loves wet feet, so it thrives in, again, right plant, right place, putting it where it needs to be. Any questions on the plants that you got here?
Well, what kind of maintenance can we expect with these plants you've selected?
Really not much. After we leave here today, just make sure you water them, get them established. And after that, there's really not a lot of maintenance needed for these plants. All right, well, it's time to mulch. Little finishing touch.
We put in a lot of work today, didn't we?
Yeah, how you feeling?
A little sore.
All right.
Before, the Fleming's yard suffered from major flooding issues, and the flower beds were pretty much void of plants. And now, the Fleming's flip is complete. The new flower beds with Florida-friendly plants, topped with pine straw mulch, will offer the Fleming family low-maintenance landscaping. The 2 swales will capture water, feed plants, and ultimately reduce stormwater runoff. The retaining wall will prevent water from flooding their driveway. The new gutters will divert water into a rain barrel, connected to drip tubing for irrigation. With all this in place, William and Bridget can now enjoy their new front yard.
This is our front yard. Can you believe it?
This is amazing.
William, Bridget, what do you think?
We love it.
I love the leopard plants. We were just taking a picture of that.
I'm speechless. Brett did an incredible job bringing this vision to life.
So ecstatic to see the final product. It looks wonderful.
You did an incredible job. You've accomplished all of this in one day.
Thanks for all your help.
You're certainly welcome.
I felt really limited before this about what plants we could put on the property. Now I feel like we have a lot of different options.
What do you think of the rain barrel?
I love it. It complements the space so nicely, and even better, it's going to be watering all of our plants so we don't have to.
All the design components that have taken place with the rain barrel, the gutters, the bioswale, it should eliminate your erosion problem.
I feel so relieved that we don't have to deal with this water runoff problem anymore.
What do you think, Liam?
Look at all the little plants.
We flipped our Florida yard.
Okay, I love that rain barrel drip tube combination thing. Pretty inventive. Okay, our next flip takes us to Coral Springs, where we meet a young family with a big problem.
We're the Gafor family. I'm Grace, and this is my husband, MTS, and we have a daughter.
This is a wonderful, beautiful neighborhood, very calm, great for walks.
The biggest problem with our front yard is the rocks.
These rocks are everywhere. They're just scattered on the ground, and now you have weeds coming up outside of the rocks. We have no idea where to even begin moving them, what to do with them. Is there a way of repurposing them? Who thought rocks in a plant bed were a good idea? We want to be Florida friendly. We just don't know where to start.
We got a lot of work to do today. We've got our master gardeners already starting. Master gardeners.
Helping Grace and MTS turn their yard into a Florida-friendly landscape.
We're going to be repurposing your gravel. As you can see there, we're started. We're going to be making a pathway, and we're going to be putting a lot of plants in the ground. Isn't that right, Kara?
That's right. The 2 principles that we're really focusing on in this yard today are watering efficiently and attracting wildlife.
I would love to see the birds come in and the butterflies and just be here with my daughter and enjoy it.
Excited to get dirty and get this done.
We got a lot of work to do. Let's go.
Janine's design calls for moving the white rock in the flower beds and repurposing it along the house as a walkway. The 1 main flower bed will be reshaped into 2 large beds with a path in the middle. Anchor trees and Florida-friendly plants will fill out the beds. A bird feeder and a focal point potted plant will be included as additional accents. First things first, the plants and the rest of the rocks have to come out. Yesterday, our crew used some machine power to scrape up the rocks and shape the new flower beds.
These rocks!
Today, our task is to clean them up and repurpose them as a pathway that will run along the front of the house.
This is like a little workout. Seeing all these master gardeners in our yard, I'm ready to help. I feel like my muscles are working. Wow, that thing was really in there. Why are we removing this plant?
So this is Scheffelaria trinette. It is a really common plant in Florida, Florida-friendly plant as well. However, it's not going to achieve the goal that we want to with your landscape with attracting wildlife. So we're going to actually replace this with cocoa plum, a Florida native plant that has flowers and fruit to get those birds and butterflies and other pollinators to your landscape. That's why we're ripping this big guy out, and we're going to put in some new plants for you.
Can you believe it? The rocks are gone.
Yeah.
We can see the difference already.
With the rocks removed, it's time for Grace and MTS to work together to install 65 Florida-friendly plants and trees. But they'll have some help.
It does work nicely for the plants. This makes it much, much quicker.
Yeah.
We got a lot more plants to get back in the ground. You're going to get to play with your auger again, and so let's go.
Florida-friendly landscaping is really about water quality and water conservation. And so that's what we're really doing with watering efficiently with our landscapes. That comes with plant selection and making sure that we're picking the right plant for the right place, thinking about drought tolerance, and then also making sure that we're cutting back our irrigation once those plants are established, because they don't need as much water as we think they do.
Like a lot of Florida homes, the Gaffors have an irrigation system that uses pop-up rotor heads to broadcast water for both lawn and flower beds. This style of irrigation system is not a very efficient way to water your landscape.
Rotors are meant for lawns, not beds.
It's showing MTS how to save water by using a drip tube line for the new flower beds.
I love drip tube. The reason is because in the flower beds, it's a lot easier for all the roots and plants to get the water they need. Pressure is really important here, okay?
The water comes out of these little holes?
Yes, so these holes have a gasket inside that lets it out slowly, okay? You're not overwatering your plants. You know?
Yeah, so it slowly feeds the plant.
Whenever the timer comes on your sprinklers, it's all attached to a zone.
Ah, okay.
The rotor head is connected with a funny pipe, which is an industry term for flexible tubing. Alex will be connecting the new drip tube line to the funny pipe.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use 3 attachments. We're gonna use one attachment for the drip line, which is here the brown, which matches the brown tubing. Then you have a PVC 1/2-inch threaded, which they both go in, make sure these are nice and tight, okay? For the funny pipe, we're gonna be cutting, and there's also a funny pipe attachment. What you need to use is a right tool to give a right cut. So this is called a PVC cutter. So let's make a cut. Squeeze through, keep clicking. And there you go. Now we have a clean cut. You see the tubing here? Now we're gonna squeeze that a little bit. Here's your fitting.
Okay.
We're gonna squeeze in the black fitting with the funny pipe. Go right ahead. You're gonna have to give it a nice squeeze in there and keep rotating it back and forth so it goes all the way in. Let's take a look. All right, perfect, you did a great job. Okay, now we're gonna be connecting the tubing. The reason why I just blew all that off is so that the dirt don't go inside the drip tube. So if you have dirt coming in, as soon as you connect this, all that water pressure is gonna shoot through the holes and they're gonna be clogged.
Oh, okay.
Now we're gonna connect this and keep squeezing in there, and it'll keep going back and forth. All right, that looks great. So now you wanna make sure that everything's nice. You kind of pull on it and make sure, right?
Okay. It's hard for me to see how this drip tube is gonna water all these plants.
Okay, now we're gonna be spreading out the drip lines. We're gonna go in and out of these plants so that the root system gets all the water from the drip line, right?
Oh, this is what you're saying was close to the roots.
Here are some pins.
Okay.
Usually every 2 feet, you can put one in. Let's put one in here.
Okay.
Now we're gonna wrap around the tree. And the reason is, we're gonna give it full coverage, 100% going all the way around so this tree could grow correctly.
Oh yeah, it's a bigger plant, so it's gonna need more water.
Correct.
Makes sense.
When the pressure's right on the drip tube, all the plants are gonna get watered correctly and efficiently at the same time. So you're saving water, the drip tube is the way to go.
Now I see how it's gonna work, and it's far more efficient. Yeah.
The rocks that were in the old flower bed are being repurposed for a new path. And we're also cleaning up some old pavers that will be repurposed as edging for the new flower beds.
The homeowner was able to clean them up real good because they were quite dirty so that we can reutilize them at the edging of the landscape bed.
Recycling your landscape material is a great way to be creative, and it lowers the impact on our environment by reducing the demand for new resources.
We see rocks used all the time in South Florida as mulch. It really isn't the best thing for our plants, and we try to get that across to people. Mulch is really important to have a Florida-friendly landscape. So we've put down pine bark instead of the rock, and that's going to provide that comforter for our soils and our plants. It buffers the temperature so the temperature of the soil doesn't get too hot or too cold. It also helps retain moisture, and over time it'll break down, adding organic matter back to the soil, making it a more nutrient-rich soil for our plants to be happy and healthy.
Whatever will bring wildlife into our yard, I'm in.
To help attract wildlife to the landscape, Kara is helping Grace build a DIY wildlife pole.
My 3-year-old daughter loves to see the butterflies and the birds come in, so we just sit there and we just watch them.
Today we're going to work on a DIY project for your landscape because we noticed that you don't have mature trees where we can hang a bird feeder. So we are going to put together a wildlife pole using some bird feeders, but this 3-inch PVC pipe that's capped. So Grace, the first step is going to be to sandpaper the pole so that we can get the paint to really adhere to it really well so that it doesn't doesn't chip off in the weather.
After sanding down the pole, Kara drills holes to put the wooden dowels through.
Perfect. Okay, it's looking pretty good. So now we have the 2 dowels. This lower one is for the feeders. And then the upper one is for a perch, so that the birds have some place to go that's away from potential predators off the feeders. I'm putting these brass hooks at the end just in case the bird feeder and bird bath slide, that these will catch at the edge of the dowel. We're providing shelter, water, and also bird feeder and food so that we can really get some pollinators, birds, and other wildlife into their landscape. With just a few materials and a drill, you're able to put wonderful, wildlife-friendly bird feeder and bird bath up in your landscape. It's going to attract so much wildlife for them to be able to enjoy the birds coming in on the feeder as well as the bird bath. Perfect. So now you have your wildlife pole for your front landscape. The birds can fly in and use this pole to perch and look around before they land in the bird feeder or the bird bath. And you can enjoy some wildlife in your front landscape.
I'm just so excited to watch the birds come by and enjoying nature and being outside.
When I first saw Janine's design, I was really excited about all the flowering plants. There are wildflowers, there's trees, there's plants that are edible. It's going to provide a lot of interaction with the family, with their landscape, and attract a lot of wildlife while also being drought tolerant. Well, Grace, since we're down here mulching, let's talk about some of the plants that you now have in your landscape. This one here is a Florida native plant, Florida friendly as well. It's called Corky Passion Vine, and it's wonderful for pollinators and other insects. It's actually a host plant for several butterflies, one being the Florida state butterfly, the zebra longwing. And it has these great fruit that other wildlife love, as well as these really wonderful flowers for pollinators. It's a great plant for the landscape, and here it's actually going to act as a ground cover.
So why do they call it that?
So actually, as it gets older, the stem gets a corky texture, kind of like a wine cork. And here's actually another wonderful plant that we've put into your landscape. These are bromeliads, and there's lots of different types of bromeliads that come in different colors and shapes and sizes and blooms. These ones will get small blooms that come up and they do well in the shade, so we put them here underneath these palm trees.
These look so delicate. Are they hard to maintain?
They're really easy to maintain. As they get older, the bottom leaves will start to brown, and so you just clean those off. But they send out new pups, and so they'll just continue to grow and fill in this bed. So Grace, I'm also really excited about this plant. Do you remember the dwarf Schefflera Trinette that we pulled out earlier?
Yeah, I remember that.
So this is the plant that we're using to replace that. This is cocoa plum. It's a native plant of Florida. It's wonderful for pollinators as well as other wildlife because it gets great flowers and these fruit that when they're mature, they're actually edible. So as you're walking through your garden, you'll be able to have a treat.
I can already picture Jubilee coming over here and picking them out when they're ready. So how big will these get?
So cocoa plum can get quite large. However, they can also be maintained at 2 to 3 feet as a hedge. This will be able to be maintained quite easily. Once they get established, they'll fill in and be a beautiful hedge within a year or two.
I want to be a plant person, so I'm soaking it all in. I just hope I can remember all their names. Let me try. Let's see if I can remember the names. So this is a bromeliad. This is a Corky
Passion Vine.
Vine, and cocoa plum.
Exactly.
Okay.
Before, Grace and MTS had a front flower bed filled with white rocks and lots of weeds. Now, all that rock has been repurposed, and those beds, well, they're full of Florida-friendly plants suited for South Florida. The landscape rock was repurposed as a pathway, giving access to their new landscape. We converted the old rotor heads that were irrigating the flower beds into drip tube, which will be watering the new plants much more efficiently. A wildlife pole was installed with a bird feeder and bath, along with an anchor tree offering habitat for birds. This beautiful new Florida-friendly landscape will give the Gafford family plenty of reasons to come outside.
I can't believe our yard went from like a desert wasteland with all these rocks to where it is now. We're gonna see a lot more birds, butterflies.
We can enjoy it.
Well, guys, what do you think? It's all ready.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So when we started this morning, I had no clue of what was gonna end up, but wow, what a transformation. We've already seen 4 different butterflies come in. I can only imagine all the other ones that are gonna come in now.
I can tell that Grace is really excited about maintaining this landscape because they're going to be able to enjoy wildlife and the scenery that comes with it for years to come.
I am so proud of you guys. This was really hard work. You stayed out here with us all day. Look at your hands, they're filthy.
Yeah, your French manicure is gone, but it was definitely worth it. Thank you so much. This has been great.
It's been my pleasure.
Well, this is gonna have a real positive impact on our family because I wanted to include Jubilee into gardening. And we've already seen Jubilee out here with her little water bottle, like feeding the plants and such. So she's gonna have a blast out here. You really got in there. You look beautiful doing it.
Oh, thank you.
We flipped our Florida yard.
I love seeing parents setting good examples for their kids. I want to encourage you to start your Florida-friendly landscaping journey today. Well, that's our show. Remember, everybody doing a little, well, that's a whole lot.
Fleming's here, and we've been loving the rain barrel and the gutters. The drip irrigation has made keeping these plants alive so easy.
The addition of the gutters has solved our stormwater runoff problem, and we do not have that issue anymore.
We've taken some of the principles we learned from Flip My Florida Yard and applied them to our backyard.
Thank you, Flip My Florida Yard. We love our yard, and we are so grateful for everything you taught us.
Hey, so we really enjoy our yard now. We're seeing a lot more birds, butterflies. It's been awesome.
Everything's turned out so great. We love it out here. Thanks, my Flip My Florida Yard.
Thank you.
Flip My Florida Yard is brought to you by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Protecting Florida's environment starts with you. What you do in your yard can have an impact on the health of our environment and water resources.